Nancy, your favorite innkeeper from Old Square Inn in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania in beautiful Lancaster County. Thanks for joining me today. It's been about 1.5 million years. And look who I'm with today. It's Sandra Lou. She is my long lost cousin. She lives in Butler, Pennsylvania, but we grew up across the alley from one another. Our dads were cousins. Yep, and we used to play together, and we used to play office a lot. Guess what she's doing today? So what you just retired from?
I was a special education secretary.
She was a secretary, yeah, because we played office.
Yeah.
So we never played cook or innkeeper, but here we are anyway.
And we're both good at it.
We are both good at it, aren't we? Yeah. All right, so today, backed by popular demand, we are going to be making harvest cookies again. Do you remember those? Those delicious oatmeal cookies with all the chunky goodness in it? All right, so we're going to get started. Now, in total, you know that I always make a half recipe. So in total, we're going to need some chopped apricots, some cranberries, some walnuts, and some pecans, a total of that. And I'm going to put Sandra Lou on that. Her name really isn't Sandra Lou, but that's just how we used to call one another Nit and Wit.
I know.
Do you remember that? Yeah, Nit and Wit. I don't know if that was because we were nitwits or because we were so witty.
It sounded good at the time.
It did sound great at the time. So she's going to get to chopping, and I'm going to get to mixing. So in this bowl, I'm making a half recipe. I have 7 tablespoons of softened butter. 7 tablespoons is just 1 tablespoon short of a stick. I know a lot of people like that, don't you? 1 tablespoon short of a stick. Anyway, so I have that in there, and to that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Granulated sugar helps it brown, helps give it that nice chewy texture that you like. Now, Sandy tells me that she doesn't like baking because it's too exacting of a science, and baking is a science. Her son is a chef and has cooked a lot of wonderful places.
How fine do you want this?
Oh, chewable. That's good. Yep.
Everything?
Yeah, so the rest of them as well. And then we can just look at that, stash them in that cup. So then I need 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And if you remember, when you measure brown sugar, you pack it like you're going to the beach making a sandcastle. Anytime you measure brown sugar, that's how it is always done. Okay, so I'm going to get the last of that in there. There's 1 more, and there's 2 more. Then I'm going to kind of whip this together. When you heat butter and sugar together, what you're doing is creating air pockets with the butter, so that helps give it some like lift. That's one of the things that raise it, but the other thing that will raise it will either be the egg. It will also be baking soda or baking powder. Let me just get this whipped around. Now in this recipe, we're going to be using baking soda. And if you remember from the other cookies we made, we use baking soda when there's an acid in it. And an acid is the brown sugar. Put this up a little bit more. Got that going? All right, and then we whip in 1 egg. Now, of course, if you were doing the whole recipe, you're going to do both of them. But what I love about half recipes is that you could at least try it out, you know? If you don't like it, then you haven't lost that much. Yep, that's perfect. You see her using that chef's knife like she's the mother of a chef?
Learn something.
And this is going to get real nice and light as we whip it up. And then those you can just break. So we have something like big and delicious to bite into. All right, so I have my eggs, sugar, and butter all whipped together. I got a little exuberant on softening the butter, so it got a little more softened than I would like. That will create a little bit different texture in the cookie, but it is going to be delicious nonetheless. All right, also need to put a little vanilla into this, and you know that we love Pansy's vanilla. Smell that. So good, smell that. Ah, so good. And that's going to be about a teaspoon of vanilla. I usually just eyeball that, but for the fun of it, I'll use my measuring spoon. That's pretty good. I'm going to drag you a little bit closer this way so you're on the camera as well. I know everybody wants to see you. You're going to hear from all our old classmates now, right?
Geez.
Yeah. They're going to be like, Sandra Rue, you haven't changed a bit. Okay, have that
Just
in there.
got old.
Well, we all did, but we're still on this side of the grass, right?
Yep.
So that's what counts.
I'm looking up.
Now, I'm going to need 3/4 cup of flour, and if you were making a whole batch, it would be 1.5 cups of flour. So I have that in here, and then to this, I'm going to add the baking soda. We do not want this, not this little, whatever this baking powder is. You want baking soda. And if you do not have an acid with your baking soda, your things are going to taste real like metallic. I accidentally made scones with baking soda one day. They got nice and brown, but they were the worst tasting scones I ever had. And on top of that, I served it to guests. And they're like, oh, these are delicious. I'm like, no, they're not really. I figured it out later. All right, so they did come back time and time again. So 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Just going to put this in with my flour and stir that around a little bit. Now, also calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of, there we go. It calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but I'm not going to put that in because we've used salted butter. So, and remember, if you're not using salted butter, then you need to get that in there. Just pick up the taste a little bit. So I'm just going to mix this around a little bit. And if you remember, whenever you add your flour to a liquid, that's when the gluten starts to form. So if you're baking something like bread or a cake or a pie, you don't want to create too much gluten because you don't want that like tough and chewy. In a cookie, it doesn't matter as much, but we're still going to give it the benefit of the doubt and not beat the heck out of it. These are one of my very favorite cookies to eat. So like I could probably eat this whole batch, but I won't. But I could. Okay, mix that up a little bit. And then to this, we're going to add 1.5 cups of oatmeal. Okay, how about, and we have it measured out already, how about you throw that in there, girl? Oh, I love a KitchenAid mixer. They're the best. Heavy as heck, but the best nonetheless. You see how quickly and easily these things go together? All right, that's it. I know, got it. That's about it. Get that off of there. These are gonna be so good. And then, now I could put, I could mix them up with my trusty KitchenAid, or we can just stir them together, which is what I'll do. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. Okay, dumperoni. Look at all that delicious goodness. I know, I can't wait to bite into these. Oh my gosh, so good. Now, sometimes you think, okay, if 1 cup is good, then another, she keeps trying to be camera shy. So why don't you tell our lovely audience where you live and how you ended up here today?
Butler, Pennsylvania. It's about 30 miles, 40 miles north of Pittsburgh. And one night I was bored and just flipping through Facebook and looked her up. And saw she had an inn, and we were looking for somewhere to go for a few days to get away, and decided we'd come here. And
yes,
I'm so glad.
And she and Harry, her husband, have a brand new little baby boy grandson. Yeah. He's what, about 2 weeks
old?
Well,
about 2 weeks today. We haven't seen him yet. He's had a few issues. He was a premature baby, but we're hoping by the time we get home, maybe we can home and we can see him.
Yeah,
so.
and my niece was a little creamy too. All right, so these are going to go on your cookie sheet. And I wonder where I put my cookie flapper. I don't know. I'll get another one. Anyway, so these are going to go on your baking sheet. They don't spread a lot, but you want to make these nice and big so that you get all that chewy, delicious goodness in every single bite.
Now, I have a question. Could
Sure.
you put coconut in there?
You could put coconut in there. I would probably substitute that for something because coconut is another wet ingredient.
Coconut and dried pineapple and dried apricots.
Yeah. I know that would be so. Ooh, that'd be like
A Hawaiian type bar.
yes, a Hawaiian type bar. And the recipe also says that cinnamon is optional. Well, you know, I'm going to leave that out of the cookie, right? Definitely.
You
So-
don't like cinnamon?
Oh, no, I don't like
I don't
cinnamon.
either.
You don't like cinnamon
I'm not
either?
fond of it.
No. See,
In certain things.
yes, in certain
In
things.
cinnamon bread.
Yes, or give me a box of Red Hots
Yeah.
or a box of hot tamales. It's all over. So this batch, this half batch is going to make probably about, I don't know, 15, 16 cookies. These will go in the oven, preheated oven at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. So I would check at 8, and then you want to just see, you know, all ovens run a little bit different. So we'll see how they get on there. Here we go. There, hold yourself together. Okay, could you pop those in the oven? Thank you very much. And those will go in there. And by the magic of video, look what we have. These delicious harvest cookies. I cannot wait to bite into one of these. Go ahead, take one. All right, well, okay, you get the first bite. Here. Wasn't that good?
Those are good.
Look. But I know so good. Apricot in there.
That's just like in the afternoon, something to fill you up, just to keep you going.
Oh, you just need a little something.
It's good.
So good.
Really, there's not a lot of, well, I guess there's a half cup of brown sugar, but not bad. Or sugar.
I really
They're
need
good.
a cup of coffee with this right now. Maybe
are
we're
good.
going to go have a cup of coffee in a minute.
Yeah.
So it has been like 1.5 million years since I have seen you. And if you are watching us, please be sure to drop your name in the comments. Tell me what you're doing today. And do you remember last time we talked, I told you that we have a couple new events going on. So we have tea time scheduled this month, and we also have pie baking 101, hands-on demonstration. I'm going to drop those links in the comments. So if you want to learn more about them, just click on the link in the comment and you can see what's going on. So we're going to be live every first and third Wednesday with more deliciosity to come. I am so happy you joined me today, and I will see you again next Wednesday, third Wednesday, and maybe I will see you for tea talk and pie baking. All right, everybody, this is Nancy, your favorite innkeeper from Old Square Inn, and
Sandy, and have a good day.
yes, see you in a few. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, Nancy here. If you like this video and want to see more, just click on the subscribe button below. And if you want to try even more delicious recipes from our award-winning B&B, click on the link in the description for our Let's Cook with Nancy cookbook. Makes a great gift for the chef in your life, even if that chef is you. All right, I'll see you in the next video.